Hello everybody, my name is Niku and welcome to the Trading Setup channel where we explore the world of trading. A beginner most often faces not the market itself, but the noise around it, a stream of other people's opinions, complex terms, endless promises of fast results. As a result, there's mess in the head and chaos in actions. This is usually where they start to break down. And if you watch until the end, you'll get a clear foundation to calmly enter trading in 2026 without theory overload or chasing miracles. Also, I've created a free club where I've gathered my years of experience in systematic trading. There you'll find real trade setups, trade breakdowns, and the results of my followers. See for yourself how far they've come by using a structured approach. Most importantly, there's an interactive deposit management table on the Martingale system. You just enter the deposit and the system automatically calculates the sequence of trades to help maintain balance even on tough days. This table already saved hundreds of deposits and helped traders build discipline. Go to the link in the description and grab the materials for free while access is open. Now let's get to trading. Let's get our platform set up so we can start trading and explore today's strategy. We're going to be using two indicators today. First one will be the scuff trend cycle. Next one will be the ADX. We're going to combine these two indicators. I want to make some visual changes to the ADX, but we're not going to change any of the actual indicator values. You also don't have to make these changes. I just like my DI plus to be green and my DI minus to be red. So what we're going to do with the strategy is we're going to look for assets where the ADX is fairly high. Okay, so ideally at least above 25. As we can see in this move here that we have the ADX well above 25 here. Next thing we're going to look for is the behavior of the DI plus or the DI minus. We want the DI plus or the DI minus depending on the direction of the move. We want the DI plus to be above the ADX or the DI minus be above the ADX for this. And remember, the ADX does not show direction. The ADX itself, that is the yellow line, does not show direction of the current move. It shows the strength of the current move. So the ADX will go up even if we are in a downwards move. As we can see here, with the dominant DI minus, the ADX is still going up even while price is falling. It's showing us there's an increase in the price movement. Okay. So keep that in mind. The yellow line, the ADX does not show direction, it shows strength. That's why we want the ADX above 25. It's showing us that in the current move, whether it's up or down, we are gaining strength in this move. Okay, so after that, we want the scuff trend cycle to be either in overbought or oversold, again, depending on the direction of the move. If the move is upwards, like we see here, we want the scuff trend cycle to be in the overbought zone. And if the move is downwards, we want the scuff trend cycle to be in the oversold position. So how are we going to use this? Well, the principle of this is that if we have a high ADX, that means that the strength of the current move is increasing and most likely to continue in this direction for at least a little while. A little while can be anything from 5 minutes to 15 to 30 minutes to an hour. We are on a 1 minute chart today and we're going to be doing 3-minute trades. So what we're going to look for is areas where the DI starts returning back and then starts going up again. So here the DI, you can see the DI minus here in this downwards move, kind of like bounced on the ADX and started moving up again, upwards again. My scuff trend cycle was well in the oversold area, so this will be a sell signal for us. Same goes for when we have an upwards move. We can see how the DI plus started going down and then it started moving up again. So if we had the rejection here, we could have taken a buy and we can see that we did indeed get that little push upwards still. Another example there. Okay, so going back to test, turns back up and we can just simply take a buy entry with that. So that's the strategy. We keep with it. We need a high ADX. The value of the ADX must be at least be about above 25 to show that the current strength in the move is reasonably strong, which means likely to continue. We need this scarf trend cycle in either the overbought or oversold, depending on the direction of the move. And then we need to watch those DI plus and DI minus lines, again, depending on the direction of the move. But we'll go through a few assets and see if we can maybe put this into practice. But that's the strategy. Now let's see if we can pick up some trades. Okay, now that we know what we're looking for, we're just going to start flipping through some assets and see if we can find an asset where the ADX itself is fairly high, and then we'll look at the rest of the indicators. But the first thing we're going to look for is a high ADX. We can see that we've got a high ADX here. The DI plus, oh sorry, DI minus did dip below, but it looks like it's going to start pushing through. Although we do have the scarf trend cycle on the wrong side of, it's in the overbought zone. We want it in the oversold zone. So let's have a look. We might get an entry on this fairly soon, but we'll come back to it, see what develops there. Let's see if we can find something else that where the ADX is actually climbing and nice and high. Okay, so we have a high ADX here. It's on 32, which is decent, decent strength, but we can see that the DI plus dipped below the ADX, so we're not going to be getting an entry on this. A scarf trend cycle is pushing back upwards, so if we do see some green for in the next few candles, we actually might see the DI plus push upwards. So let's add that to our hotbar, and in the meantime we'll see if we can find any other assets. Very strong push here. ADX is on 27-ish. Okay, so what we're hoping to see here is we want to see price pull back a little bit. When this happens, we're going to see the DI plus pull back as well, and then we want to get that extra momentum, see if it forms bounces off the ADX and gain that extra momentum. So it could be that this is when price is moving in a direction, it will always make small corrections. It will never continue straight up in a straight line. So we can see that the price continuously make these small corrections, and this is basically what we're looking for. These bounces on the DI plus, where the DI plus bounced off the ADX, this was just a correction. So as soon as the bounce took place, we could have gone with a buy there. Rest of the conditions was met. So this is what we're looking for, looking to find. So we are looking for a trend, an existing trend, where the ADX is nice and high, and then hopefully we can time those pullbacks with the DI plus and the DI plus, scarf trend cycle, and ADX itself. ADX is nice and decent. I want to see the scarf trend cycle enter the oversold zone here. How many minutes? A few seconds left. This could be a decent sell entry. Although we did already see the bounce and the scarf trend cycle wasn't in the oversold zone. So this is might not actually be the best of ideas to enter this this asset on this area here. Let's have a look. I want to see what we've got a few seconds left. Let's just see what the scarf trend cycle does on the next candle. Did not push through. It's heading towards the oversold zone, but it did not push through. So put a marker in this as well. Add this to our hotbar. Again, I'll come back to that in a minute or two and see if my conditions are being met for taking an entry. Okay, ADX is very close to 50 here. Oh, to 25. If we do see a bounce take place here, this might be the best entry that we are going to see, or that we've seen so far. The best potential entry, let's put it that way. I want to see the DI plus move upwards now. It didn't. Still good. We're going to have to wait for the close of this candle though. If this pushes upwards, we're going to see price pull the DI minus below the ADX. If we do see a red candle here, we're going to see a bounce. So let's just wait and see. Wait for the close of this candle just to see what happens. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to. This is a massive green candle. This is not going back before the close of the candle. Okay, so no trade there. We have a rising ADX here, and there's the pause on the DI minus. This as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the assets that we bookmarked. This turned out actually not too bad. Going to take some time for that to play out. If it does, this one turned out to drop way too much. This as well didn't play out as we hoped. Remember, as with any other strategy, you're going to have quiet times and you're going to have busy times. Sometimes, at some points in time, you will find a lot of entries with your strategy. At some point in time, you will struggle to find entries. This happens throughout the day. Doesn't matter what strategy you're using. You will always have these cycles that the market goes through where you struggle to find entries with your specific strategy. It's 100% normal. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means that the market conditions for your current strategy is not ideal. It's as simple as that. So don't be discouraged. This strategy, as with any of the strategies that we do on this channel, will not give you a trade every minute or 2 minutes. That is way too much. That's horrible over trading. If you are taking trades every 1 or 2 minutes, or even every 5 minutes, you are over trading a little bit. If on the average, sometimes the stars just align and you get a bunch of entries in a very short time, but that doesn't happen often. This is not it's not the normal rule. It is the exception. But if you are trading every day, a trade every few minutes, you are over trading, and you really need to look at your discipline in your trading, because that most likely means that you are basically guessing for most of your entries are basically just guesswork or prediction work, and prediction doesn't work, guessing doesn't work. You might as well go gamble. You need to wait for your strategies. They need to fire. This is the reason I use multiple strategies when I'm trading. I don't just use a single strategy. That's why my charts quite often confuse, especially new traders gets confused by my charts. They see a ton of indicators because I have, as a rule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 5 at the bottom. So I've got 12 indicators on my charts when I'm trading. But those 12 indicators make up 6 or 7 strategies for me. I know what to look at. I don't look at all of them at the same time. There's specific stuff that I'm looking at. Let's take this strategy, for example. I will have 2 indicators for this strategy maybe, and then I'll keep an eye on this, and I'll have 2 more indicators above them for a totally different strategy. Okay, so that is because quite often strategies are slow. This is going to give us an entry. I'm going to start taking sells here. Might have been a bit too hasty. I'll take some. If it pulls back, I'll take some more. But it's giving us a beautiful bounce here. Let's take some more here. Should have maybe waited for the close of this candle. Let's zoom in a little bit. We do have the beautiful bounce on the of the DI minus, and we should see some downwards momentum or some downwards movement coming up. Let's stick with that. Scuff trend cycle is in oversold. We do have the bounce of the ADX of the DI plus, sorry, the DI minus of the ADX. So we should see price continue to make its way down. Okay, now we just need to wait for the timer to run out, for the expiry to run out. But back to strategies. So if you are new to trading, I really suggest you get one strategy on your chart and learn to basically master it. Get used to it. Get to a point where you don't have to think when you're trading with it. Do not try to do a bunch of strategies at the same time. This took me years to be able to have all these indicators on my chart and distinguish between them at a glance. So it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some getting used to. Start with one strategy, get used to it, master it, and then add another one. Got that strategy down, add another one, and start trading with those two then for a while. And again, repeat the process, but don't expect this to take 2 or 3 days. This is going to take months, weeks, if not months, before you can have a bunch of strategies on your chart at the same time. For the most part, I do recommend that you just stick with one, get used to it, especially if you are a new trader. Okay, so but yes, you are going to have slow times. You are going to have times where you get a bunch of entries, but the normal rule will be that you will wait quite a bit between entries, especially if you're just using one strategy. So keep that in mind. Let's see what this does. We have 45 seconds left I am very doubtful that my first entry is going to win. I took that one really low, but I do think that we're going to get the other three should be fine. Let's see what happens. We should see some red starting to come in. Okay, like I expected, my first entry did not win. My other two is going to be fine though. Okay, so ideally you want to wait for the close of the candle. I always take just a little teeny bit of extra risk when I'm making these videos, because finding the really perfect setups takes quite a long time usually. But this is how we can use this ADX and the DI lines and the scarf trend cycle to find entries for us. We should see price continue downwards from here as well. Okay, this entire strategy is not about speed, it's about stability. In 2026, it's not the fastest who survive, but the calmest. If you want not just to hear my breakdowns, but to see how I apply these principles in real time, I invite you to my private trading community. There, we trade live, analyze the market daily, review mistakes, and discuss daily cases. It's not just a chat, it's a professional environment where everyone grows. Send me a direct message to join. I select members manually to maintain focus and a growth-orientated atmosphere. The number of spots is limited because I want to work with each person individually. If you share the ideal of calm, systematic trading where decisions are made logically without panic and rush, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes. Here, I share practice, show real examples, and break down the market live. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, may the pips be with you.